What happens when one of Hollywood's most iconic stars sits down for what's supposed to be a simple morning interview? And the experience turns into a shocking moment broadcast to millions. In less than a minute, a single exchange would leave a career momentarily shaken, all on live television. Samuel L. Jackson arrived at the Good Morning America studio expecting a typical promotional interview. He came to share his latest project, connect with his fans, and enjoy some lighthearted conversation, but what unfolded was anything but ordinary. At first, the interview seemed normal. Samuel settled onto the bright yellow couch, smiling at the panel. Michael Strahan faced him, with Robin Roberts to his left and George Stephanopoulos at the far end. The cameras rolled, the audience buzzed, and everything appeared perfectly routine. Then Michael asked the question that changed everything. "So, Samuel, your new movie is packed with action and explosions. At your age, how much longer can you keep doing these physically demanding roles?" A hush fell over the studio. Robin's smile faltered. George shifted uncomfortably, and Samuel's expression shifted instantly from warm to wary. "My age?" Samuel repeated, calm but firm. "I'm not sure what my age has to do with anything. I'm in better shape than most people half my years." But Michael pressed on, the laughter in his voice carrying a subtle condescension. "Come on, you know what I mean. You're not exactly a spring chicken anymore. Don't you think it's time to pass the torch to younger actors?" Robin attempted to step in, trying to save the moment. "Michael, I think what we're really asking is how Samuel keeps up this incredible energy and dedication to his craft." Michael, however, wasn't backing down. Leaning forward, he insisted, "No, Robin, I'm asking a real question. Samuel's been doing this for decades. At what point do you look in the mirror and think, maybe it's time to retire?" Samuel's jaw tightened. This wasn't just awkward, it was disrespectful. He controlled his voice, letting it carry authority and calm. "I've been acting professionally for over 4 decades. I've built a career based on talent, dedication, and respect. Qualities you might want to understand before questioning someone's value based on age." The studio audience gasped. Murmurs spread. George looked ready to disappear under his desk, but Michael persisted. "Whoa, whoa," he said, hands thrown up. "I'm just asking questions. Isn't that what journalists do? Or are you too sensitive for honest conversation?" Robin's frustration was visible. "Michael, that's not fair. Samuel is our guest, and he deserves respect." "I'm giving him respect," Michael shot back. "I'm treating him like an adult who can handle tough questions." "Maybe that's the problem. Maybe people have treated him with kid gloves for too long." Then, in a moment that would be replayed for years, Samuel stood. Not in anger, not in haste, but with deliberate composure. He unclipped his microphone, his voice low yet powerful. "You want real talk?" he said. "Here's real talk. Real journalists don't ambush their guests. Real professionals know the difference between tough questions and disrespect. And real respect isn't optional. It's earned." Michael scoffed, dismissing the tension. "Oh, here we go. The celebrity can't handle a little pushback." But Samuel wasn't done. He looked Michael in the eye. "I came here to talk about something I'm passionate about. I came to connect with people who've supported me for decades. I did not come here to be ambushed by someone with an agenda." Robin reached out apologetic. "Samuel, I'm so sorry. This isn't what we intended." Samuel nodded, acknowledging her sincerity. "I know, Robin. I appreciate that. But I won't sit here and be disrespected on national television. I've earned better than that." And with that, he walked off. The small thud of his microphone echoed through the studio, a sound that would mark one of the most unforgettable moments in morning television history. Michael leaned back in his chair, arms crossed, that smug smile still plastered on his face. "So, you're really going to walk off? Really going to prove my point about not handling pressure?" For a moment, the entire studio held its breath. Then Samuel turned slowly, his gaze calm but piercing. "The only thing I'm proving," he said, "is that I respect myself too much to entertain this nonsense. You think this is pressure, Michael. I've performed on stages around the world. I've worked with the greatest directors in cinema. I've built a legacy that will last long after both of us are gone. This?" He gestured to the studio. "This isn't pressure. This is just sad." A ripple of applause began in the audience, hesitant at first, then swelling until the studio erupted in full support for Samuel. Michael's face turned red, his smile gone. "Oh, great," he muttered sarcastically. "Everyone applaud the guy who can't even finish an interview." "Makes sense." George cut in sharply. "Michael, enough. That's enough." But Michael wasn't done. "What? I'm the bad guy now because I asked legitimate questions? Because I didn't kiss his feet like everyone else?" Samuel had already started walking toward the exit, but he paused, turning back to deliver one last line. "You know what your problem is, Michael." His voice was measured but heavy with truth. "You confuse being confrontational with being intelligent. You think tearing people down makes you look strong, but all it does is show everyone exactly who you are." Robin called out, devastated, "Samuel, please, can we talk about this?" Samuel's attention shifted only to her. "Robin, you've always been a class act. George, same to you. But I cannot be part of this. I won't be." Michael stood up now, visibly agitated. "Fine, leave then. We don't need you anyway. There are plenty of other actors who would love to be here." "Then invite them," Samuel replied calmly. "I'm sure they'll be thrilled to experience your version of hospitality." The cameras wavered, unsure where to focus. Some continued filming. Others lowered producers frantically tried to regain control. Live television was unraveling in real time. George tried one final intervention. "Samuel, we value you being here. Michael's approach was wrong. Can we reset and start over?" Samuel shook his head. "I appreciate that, George, I really do. But some things cannot be reset. Some words cannot be taken back." Michael laughed, truly laughed. "Oh, please. You Hollywood types are all the same. You demand respect, but don't give it. You want everyone to worship you, and the second someone treats you like a normal person, you fall apart." That was the final straw. Even Robin's patience snapped. "Michael, stop talking right now. You're making this worse," she said firmly. "Why should I stop?" Michael shot back. "Because I'm telling the truth. I'm not playing the game. This is exactly what's wrong with celebrity culture. They can't handle honesty." Samuel had reached the exit. He didn't look back this time. Michael continued anyway. "That's right, walk away. Show everyone you can dish it out in your movies but can't take it in real life." Robin stepped in front of him, physically blocking further confrontation. "Stop. Just stop, Michael." The studio was silent. The applause had died down, leaving only the shocked faces of an audience witnessing one of the most awkward television moments in recent memory. George finally addressed the camera. "We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back." Before the cut, Michael had to add one more comment. "We don't need a break. Let's talk about what really happened here. Let's talk about how entitled celebrities think they can control every conversation." Robin's professionalism cracked. "Michael, what is wrong with you? Why are you doing this?" Michael looked genuinely puzzled. "I'm doing my job. I'm asking questions. Isn't that what we're supposed to do?" "There's a difference between asking tough questions and being hostile, Michael," George replied. "What you did was hostile." "I wasn't hostile," Michael protested. "I was honest. There's a difference." From somewhere off camera, a producer called out, "We're going to commercial in 5, 4, 3. But it was over. Samuel L. Jackson had walked off Good Morning America. One of Hollywood's biggest stars had been disrespected publicly, and he chose dignity over debate. As the cameras cut to commercial, Michael sat back down, still defiant. Robin and George exchanged exhausted glances. Robin leaned toward him, voice low but sharp. "What were you thinking? What was going through your head?" Michael shrugged. "I was thinking we should treat celebrities like everyone else. Honest questions shouldn't be off limits just because someone's famous." George stepped in, his voice sharp and steady. "Michael, there's a way to ask challenging questions without being disrespectful. You know that. You've been doing this long enough to know it." Michael threw up his hands. "So, I'm the villain now? I'm the bad guy because I didn't fawn all over him?" Robin rubbed her temples, exhaling slowly. "You're missing the point entirely. This isn't about fawning. It's about basic respect. Basic human decency." Michael scoffed. "Basic human decency? He's the one who walked off. He's the one who couldn't handle a conversation." The commercial break neared its end, but tension on set was thick enough to cut with a knife. George looked directly at Michael. "When we come back, you're not speaking. Robin and I will handle the rest of the show. You're done for today." Michael's eyes widened. "You're benching me on my own show?" "It's our show," Robin corrected quietly. "All of ours, and right now, you need to sit there and be quiet." When the cameras returned, Robin and George smiled professionally, though their eyes betrayed exhaustion. Robin spoke first, her voice warm but measured. "Welcome back. As you can see, we've had an unexpected turn of events this morning. Samuel L. Jackson has left the interview, and we want to address that." George nodded. "At Good Morning America, we pride ourselves on respectful, engaging conversations with our guests. What happened this morning fell short of that standard. For that, we apologize to Samuel and to our viewers." Michael sat between them, jaw clenched, shoulders tense. He didn't speak. Robin continued. "Samuel L. Jackson is not just a talented actor. He's a professional who has dedicated decades to his craft and has earned respect from his peers and audiences worldwide. He deserved better today." The rest of the broadcast felt strained. Every segment seemed forced. Every smile felt rehearsed. The energy that usually carried Good Morning America had evaporated, replaced by palpable tension. During the cooking segment, the chef seemed nervous, as if he might accidentally trigger Michael. During the weather report, the meteorologist rushed his update, clearly eager to finish throughout it all. Michael remained silent, seething under the surface. At one point during a commercial break, he stood and walked off set without a word. Robin and George simply exchanged tired, frustrated glances. When Michael returned before going back on air, he slumped into his chair, avoiding eye contact entirely. The final segments dragged on, each minute stretching painfully. Finally, mercifully, the broadcast ended. Robin delivered the closing remarks, thanking viewers and promising a great show tomorrow. George added his farewell, his smile not quite reaching his eyes. The cameras stopped rolling, the lights dimmed. The studio audience began filing out. Whispering in awe over the chaos they had just witnessed, Michael immediately left for his dressing room, ignoring producers attempting to flag him down. Robin shook her head slowly. "What a disaster," she said quietly to George. "I've never seen anything like that," he replied. "Not in all my years." The crew moved slowly, still processing the morning's events. Whispers filled the studio, replaying Samuel standing up, Michael pushing, and everything unraveling in real time. Meanwhile, Samuel L. Jackson had already departed. He walked out the front door, got into his waiting car, and drove away without looking back. No statements, no social media posts, just dignity intact and his point made. Within minutes, clips of the confrontation spread across social media. Fans who watched live shared reactions, expressing shock, outrage, and support for Samuel. The hashtag went viral, trending instantly. While some defended Michael, calling it just tough questions, the overwhelming majority sided with Samuel. What millions saw unfold in that studio was undeniable. A masterclass in standing up for respect, disrespect, entitlement. An ego that had completely spun out of control. Back at the Good Morning America studio, emergency meetings were being called. Producers, executives, network representatives, all scrambling to figure out how to manage the fallout. This wasn't just an awkward interview. This was a public relations nightmare unfolding in real time. Robin sat alone in her dressing room, replaying the events over and over. She thought about every moment she could have stepped in more forcefully, every second she might have shut Michael down before things spiraled out of control. She felt a weight of responsibility, even though she knew logically that Michael's behavior was his own choice. George sat in a similar state, head in his hands at his desk. He had worked decades to build the reputation of Good Morning America, and in the span of one interview, he had watched that reputation take a serious hit. The unforgiving reality of live television was on full display. Every word, every gesture, every tension-filled moment was captured, broadcast to millions and preserved forever. There were no second takes, no edits, no chance to rewind time. Michael's missteps were now etched in crystal-clear, high-definition footage for the world to see. As the day wore on, reactions poured in from every corner of the industry. Fellow actors expressed support for Samuel. Media analysts dissected every second of the confrontation, breaking down what went wrong and why. Many highlighted Samuel's remarkable composure. As Michael became more aggressive, Samuel never raised his voice or resorted to insults. He simply set his boundaries, and when those boundaries were crossed, he walked away. That, many argued, was the mark of true professionalism, knowing when to stand firm and knowing when some battles aren't worth fighting. Others focused on Michael's behavior, questioning what had possessed him to treat a guest with such blatant disrespect. Was it ego? A misguided attempt to appear tough or edgy? Personal animosity unknown to viewers? Whatever the reason, the result was the same. Samuel L. Jackson walked off Good Morning America, and the entire television industry took notice. In the days that followed, there would be statements, apologies, and damage control. But none of that changes the core of the story. What truly matters is what happened in that studio, in those explosive minutes when a simple morning interview transformed into a confrontation no one would forget. A moment that would be replayed, debated, and remembered for years to come.